Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, things are getting very serious. Now, I received a report in the mail, and I want to share this with you. None of this is classified, but it is some very, very important information to help us get a better understanding of what's going on, really, as it relates to the United States and our observation with North Korea. Here's the report. A lot of movement, the Pacific Command, AOR, regarding recent Korean test. Cannot go into any particular details other than what has been elaborated here in these North Korean articles. And I've got some North Korean articles to help me understand what's going on. But the hardware and the personnel are moving. Naval and Air Forces, as well as Special Operation Forces, are being pre-positioned. The chess pieces are lining up. This report goes on to say, as the United States and South Korea and Japan have been asking the North Koreans to come to the table and to discuss a denuclearization, the North continues to ratchet up their rhetoric. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea gave the following answer on the 20th of September to a question asked by a Korean Central News Agency reporter on the game of criticizing our self-defensive nuclear deterrent strengthening measures that the United States was playing with follower forces. Matter of fact, folks, on the 18th of September, we have reports that U.S. Secretary of State John F. Kerry held a meeting in New York City with what was called a three-party talks with Japan's foreign minister and the South Korean puppet minister of foreign affairs, and once again Kerry unleashed the defunct denuclearization dialogue rhetoric, vilifying our nuclear armed forces, strengthening measure as a provocation and reckless behavior. All right, now we've already heard Stephen Ben-Nun has already released some videotape of John Kerry in a secret meeting that he had there in in Syria, and how that basically he said it. I heard him say it. I watched Kerry say it, that America sat back and just watched ISIS take over most of Iraq and Syria, hoping that ISIS would take Assad out of power. We did nothing to stop ISIS. We let them, literally, we watched them. Matter of fact, we funded them because we left the stuff laying there for them to pick it up. So when Donald Trump says that, it's not an exaggeration. Let me read some more, though. In this report I received, it says basically, diplomacy is failing, okay? Like I stated before, the United States has moved the Ronald Reagan battle group into the area, as well as additional air and missile assets into Japan and Guam. All of the pieces are pretty much in place for another Korean war. Unfortunately, this time, North Korea has their finger on multiple nuclear weapons. And here's the breakdown of the assets. North Korea, or as it prefers to be known officially, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, possesses a massive armed force with substantial military capabilities, both conventional and unconventional. Most experts agree that the Korean People's Army is the world's fourth largest military in terms of manpower, with the world's largest special forces component, behind China, the United States, and India. Now, I actually have a report here. Now, remember something. When they talk about they have massive armed forces and massive capability, don't forget what Mike from Around the World said about 2 to 3 weeks ago, that North Korea has unbelievable amounts of stockpile of germ warfare weapons, toxic weapons, deadly pathogens, weaponry, stockpiled all over the country. Not just only an arsenal of nuclear weapons and hydrogen bombs and missiles and capabilities, folks. But listen to this. Here's how many active troops. Here's the top 4 largest amount of military personnel, top 4 countries in the world. Number 1 is China. China has 2,255,000 military personnel across all of their military branches. 2,255,000. There's 2 million right there in China alone. The United States has 1,474,000 military personnel. India has 1,325,000 military personnel. And North Korea has 1,106,000 military personnel. Experts also concur that North Korea possesses an extensive ballistic missile arsenal and significant weapons of mass destruction capabilities. Authorities have lectured citizens that there will be a great war of unification. And they said it would happen this year. Certainly the threat is great for next. And that newly recruited soldiers are referred to as unification soldiers, the source of North Korea's power. All culture courses teach us repeatedly that America's hostile policy and sanctions are responsible for North Korea's economic challenges. He said, as a way to overcome the challenges, the government of North Korea recently replaced the phrase self-survival with self-strenuous efforts. We in the military have always stated that an attack on South Korea by North Korea is typically based on an annual fall rice, wheat, or barley harvest. Good harvest, lower threat. Bad harvest, you get the picture. For North Koreans not to starve under the current circumstances, they must continue to rely on food aid from other countries. There is no other way than relying on China and Russia, as Kim Jong-un makes preparations in response to international sanctions. And according to Chinese sources who live in China and is familiar with what is happening in North Korea, quote, but because aid from China and Russia will also be limited this year, North Korea residents will suffer the burden, even more, thus increasing the risk of invasion or attack. Even as these sanctions are coming online, North Korea continues to prepare for war and vows to turn Seoul, South Korea into a lake of fire. Folks, this is some reports that I'm getting from very credible sources, extremely credible sources, that is able to help us understand the real story, not the propaganda that you're getting from the lamestream media. This is coming from sources inside who actually know what's taking place. And we're sharing with you, nothing that I'm sharing is classified. But what I am sharing with you is not being reported anywhere in the mass media. It's the real truth. It's the real story. And you can know this. It's really a problem. We're living in perilous times, like the Bible said. Wars and rumors of wars. Nations rising against nations and kingdoms against kingdoms. And there's famines, and there will be pestilences. There will be starvation, and there will be motivation for elimination of neighbors just to eat. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're living in the last days. I'll be back. I've got more to reveal to you and in videos to come. I'm going to give you more of this inside information on other parts of the world and things that are really happening. I'll be back with more in just a moment.